Hey everyone, this is Christo Scotta, and I am really excited to be here with you today. This is episode 2 for our 2020 leadership show. This is where we help you to grow as a leader 20 minutes at a time. But it's not just growing as a leader. It's really, that's why the show is called 2020, is to meet you where you are. This is the year 2020. 2020 is also about perfect vision, clarity. And it's my goal to really help you to get so much clarity based on the things that you are facing right now as a leader. And you might say, Krista, well, I don't have hundreds of people that I'm leading. Listen, the reality is you have to lead yourself. We all are leaders. And I am excited today. Today's going to be a little different. I'm actually going to spend 20 minutes with you live right here. And I'm trying to, let me see here, see if the comments are working. Let me just see here. Anyways, let's see how this goes. But here's the reality. We are so overwhelmed with so many things right now. What if we can actually focus on a couple of fundamentals that can really help us to not just be more focused, but also be more effective and also lead the people more effectively right now? So what I'm going to do is in the next couple of minutes, I'm going to share with you just a couple of things that I've learned. I work with leaders every day, and I want to share a couple of things that I believe can really change things for you. So here we go. I have a very strong belief that one of the mistakes we make all the time is we focus on too many things at the same time. What we need to do is we need to focus on a couple of fundamentals, and we need to go deeper. It's like, I don't know about if any of you out there are golfers, but even if you play music, whatever that is, we have a tendency sometimes there's all new things to learn about the golf game. We try this, we try that. So what we do is we spread things really wide. But if you're going to talk to a good golfer or musician, they're going to tell you this. They're going to tell you that the way you get good is by focusing on some fundamentals and to go deeper in those fundamentals. So instead of going wider, and that's what we're doing right now, we in a world where we bombarded with information, the best thing you can do is to go deeper into the fundamentals. I deeply believe in this, and this is how I see leadership. There are some basic fundamentals, but more than that, right now in this world that we live in right now, with all this change and everything happening around us, I believe there are 4 really key fundamentals, and that's what I want to share with you today. There's thousands of leaders that I kind of took through this. This is something I know does work, okay? Now, I'm going to warn you. I'm going to run through these 4. I think it's going to be helpful to you. I want you to rate yourself on these 4. But I'm not going to have enough time in 20 minutes really to go deep into each one of them. I'm going to try just to get you to kind of really ask bigger questions for yourself. But I also want to say, with the shows coming up, I know next week, Chris Calabrese is one of the most amazing leaders I know is going to be on the show. But a lot of these things, these 4 fundamentals, are going to be addressed in the weeks to come. Okay, so a lot of it's going to come up, but if it feels a little overwhelming, it's okay. I just want to kind of really share these couple of things with you. I also want to mention this. I have a online program called Lead to Succeed. I have a group that's going to start actually October 7th, and we go exactly in 8 weeks. That's what we do. We go through those I'm happy to share a link as well, but that's a way to go deeper. But here we go. 4 fundamentals that I deeply believe for you as a leader right now. If you get these 4 things and you focus on these 4 things, things can change. And trust me, I see this every day as I work with leaders. So here's the first thing. The first one is capacity building. Capacity building. Here's the reality. You have only so much to give. You can only give what you have. You can only give what you have. You only have so much capacity. You only have so much energy to truly give to the people around you. And what makes this even more complicated right now is with the pandemic going on and with things around our world going on, here's the reality. You and I are all walking around with post-traumatic symptoms. We've been through a trauma. And the reality is this trauma does not have a clear end. So if you have that feeling of really just feeling blah, that's playing in the background too. But here's the reality. Capacity building is something you're either intentional about it or you're reactive about it. This is something I've learned working with pro athletes, Olympic athletes, just learning how intentional they are in building their capacity. Okay, now, trust me, I want to spend this whole 20 minutes on this, and I'm sure we're going to find more time to talk about this. But when you look at your morning routines and you're looking at your evening routines, how intentional are you in building your energy, building your capacity? We're looking at 5 domains of peak performance: the mental, the emotional, the physical, the spiritual, and what I call the technical domains. What's fascinating about these domains are, 1, they change all the time, and 2, they're all connected. But here's the thing. How intentionally are you building your capacity every day? As a leader right now, I believe one of the most important things you can do is to intentionally build your capacity, is to manage your energy. People talk about self-care. Yeah, it is self-care, but it's even a little bit more than that. So the question I want to ask you is, on a scale from 0 to 10, where 10 is your tank is full, where are you right now? What's your number? When we talk about capacity building, where is your number? But that's the first fundamental. The second fundamental, we're going to talk about being a centered leader. And you're going to say, Christu, now, okay, what is a centered leader? Because this is something that we don't talk about, but the moment when you're around a centered leader or an uncentered leader, you're like, yeah, there it is. So let me explain this to you. If you are an uncentered leader, you are at a place where you're insecure, you're inconsistent, you make these decisions all the time, but things change all the time. You don't really connect well with your people. You're also very focused on yourself. You're not really connecting deeply with other people around you. Your team members are not really bought in to who you are and what you stand for. People are confused. It's all over the place. It's very reactive. Whereas a centered leader, here are a couple of things, very important things. A centered leader is driven by core values. Is driven by a clear why. Has clarity around their identity and who they are. They are consistent, and they have an ability to connect deeply with the people emotionally around them. So what a centered leader really is somebody that really is clear about what they stand for, and the people around them know what they stand for. And that's what we need right now. We need leaders that are truly centered. They not only just need capacity, like capacity building, but they also need to be centered and be clear about what they stand for. So my question to you is, on a scale from 0 to 10, how centered are you? Where 10 is centered. How clear are you about what you stand for? So just rate yourself on that scale from 0 to 10. So far we talk about capacity building. We're talking about being centered. The third one that I believe is really, really crucial is connection. This is the third fundamental. Now, let me explain this a little bit more. Listen to this. Everybody communicates, some connect. Everybody communicates, some connect. You're going to say, Krista, okay, well, what do you mean by connection? Well, I want to give you this example of, you have two college professors. The one college professor, well, let's put it this way. Both college professors are teaching at the same university. They're teaching the same curriculum, the same class, at the same time of the day. But why is it that the one college professor's class, there's a waiting list? People are waiting to be in his class. And the other college professor, actually, it's empty. The class is empty. What is the difference? They are teaching exactly the same curriculum. They're teaching exactly the same content. Why is it that the one class is totally full and the other one's totally empty? It's connection. I'm sure you've had a college professor or a teacher, or you had a boss or somebody that you just felt connected to. And some other ones that you're not feeling that connection. That's what we're talking about. As leaders, I think a lot of focus is so much on communication, but I think we miss it. Communication is a piece of it, but if you cannot connect with the people around you in a deep and effective way, your communication is not going to land. It's not going to land. And I've been saying this for years. Caring is the new currency. This is the world that we live in right now. Caring is the new currency. By the year 2025, here in America, statistics are showing that 75% of the US workforce, this is in a couple of years, is going to be 40 years and younger. 75% of the US workforce is going to be 40 years and younger by 2025. Every day, 10,000 baby boomers are retiring in the US right now. Why is this important? Well, if you're going to ask millennials, if you're going to ask younger people what matters to them as leaders, what matters to them and somebody that's leading them, they're going to tell you three things. The first thing they're going to tell you is, I want to be led by a leader that's driven by a bigger purpose, by a why. Purpose is really important to them. The second thing they're going to tell you, actually, I'm just going to focus on these two right now. The second thing they're going to tell you is, I want to be led by a leader that truly cares. You see, the way we led in the 80s and 90s is not going to work moving forward. Our people need to feel like you really care about them. Okay, this is where connection is becoming so important. So as a leader, you need to learn what is the art of connection. And I would love to go into that right now, but I think we'll do a whole show just around that. I have 4 areas to focus on connection that will help you very quickly to connect more with the people around you. So far, 3 fundamentals. First fundamental, let me go back, is capacity building. You need to have the energy to kind of really bring to the other people around you. The second one is being centered, being a centered leader, to be clear about what you stand for, what is your why, what's your core values and your identity. And then thirdly, we just talked about is connection. You need to learn as a leader to deeply connect with the people around you. The fourth one that I'm going to share with you, this is a very big one right now, and it's the courage to change. And I see this every day as I work with my leadership clients. The world has rapidly changed since the pandemic. It's just incredible the amount of change that we are facing. We live in a society where everything is about improving things. If you have an iPhone 6 now, you're going to say, oh man, it's an old phone. Listen, the reality is iPhone 6 10 years ago was incredible. But we live in a world where change is happening so quickly and we improve things so quickly. And then you throw the pandemic on top of that. But here's the reality. Nobody likes change. Nobody likes change. And as a leader, especially right now, you need to learn to handle the voices and emotions in your head to go through this change, because if you're not going to handle change, you're going to die. And I know it sounds drastic to say that, but I want you to understand this. As leaders, and you're leading people that don't like to change, how do you lead them through this change? Because things gonna move really quickly, much quicker than it did before. But change is really painful. And it takes a lot of courage. And trust me, I'm living it right now. We're just in the process of selling our house and going through a massive move, and all the emotions that's been going through me, and things that I didn't thought I was holding on to, I'm holding on to. It is a process. It is a change to go through. And I think this is something we really need to talk about as leaders. How do you handle change, and how do you lead through change? So, to bring it back together, I deeply believe the 4 fundamentals to focus on right now as a leader is 1, capacity building. You need to have the energy and have the self-care and have the capacity to bring to the people in your family right now. 2 is really around getting to a place of being centered. Now that's a little different than capacity building, because being centered is where you come from. It's your core values. It's your why. It is your identity, who you are. Do the people that you are leading know what you stand for? 3 is around connection. The conversation we need to continue having is around connection. It's not around conversation. What is the art of connection? How do you connect with the people? How do you help people to feel like you truly care about them as leaders? And then lastly is the courage to change, to learn as a leader to handle change. But more importantly, how do you lead other people through this change? So I hope this was helpful. This is just something that I've learned. I mean, I work with so many leaders every day. These are the 4 things that keeps coming up. And like I said before, we're going to talk more about this in episodes to come, and we'll go deeper into them. And also, like I said, October 7th, one of my programs is called Lead to Succeed. I mean, we had 80 leaders that went through this from 7 different countries. So it doesn't matter where you are in the world. It's an 8-week program, and we take a certain amount of leaders at a time, but we go through these fundamentals. I'm excited. Next week, like I said, Chris Calabrese is going to be here. I'm going to interview him on a very specific area that I think you guys can find very, very valuable. Thanks for watching. And again, I'll see you guys next Monday. Again, it's noon Eastern time here in Philadelphia, but I'll see you then. Okay, everyone, have a good one. Bye.